What is up, bros and broettes? I'm Inkslasher, and welcome to another episode of Versus, the series where we put two weapons or sometimes other things head-to-head to see which one is better and make you a better Call of Duty player. And today is a special episode because today we are looking at two sniper rifles for the very first time in Call of Duty World War II. And this is an interesting one because today we are also looking at definitely the two most used sniper rifles in the game. First of all, we are looking at the KAR98K, the sniper rifle that you receive upon prestiging your mountain division, and probably the most used sniper in the game, the Lee Enfield, one of the first sniper rifles you unlock at the very beginning. Now, both of these snipers are bolt action, and both are, generally speaking, going to be a one-bullet kill, but today we're going to look in depth at the intricacies of both weapons to see which one is better, and by the end of this video, you should know which one of these two snipers is the top dog. Now, normally we go ahead and look at the damage profile of both weapons, but first I want to look at something else. There's been a rumor going around that both of these sniper rifles do have aim assist and both of these sniper rifles don't have aim assist, or one of them has aim assist and the other doesn't, and it's very simple. Both sniper rifles have aim assist. The only sniper rifle to not have aim assist in Call of Duty World War II is the M1903, or the Springfield. Also, the Springfield has this really weird thing where when you aim down sights with it, your sensitivity is increased. Neither the KAR98K or the Lee Enfield have this very weird stat. The only sniper rifle to is the M1903. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we can actually go ahead and look at the stats of these two weapons. And as always, we're going to start off with the damage profile. So on these two weapons, what we're going to look at is the area that you are able to get a one-bullet kill with. And with the KAR98K, you are going to be able to get a one-bullet kill from the hips and up, whereas for the Lee Enfield, you are going to be able to get a one-bullet kill from the middle of the stomach around the belly button and up. So the KAR98K has just a slight amount larger of a one-bullet kill area, and for that it is going to get +1 point and take the lead. And the next thing we're going to look at here is the fire rate. So the fire rate for the Lee Enfield is 85 RPM. Pretty slow, but overall pretty average for a bolt-action sniper rifle, whereas the KAR98K actually has a fire rate of 109 RPM. So it's not a huge amount faster, but it definitely does have a faster fire rate, and for that it is going to get +1 more point and extend that lead. However, one area where the Lee Enfield actually does make up for this is in the magazine size. The magazine size for the KAR98K is only 5 rounds, whereas the Lee Enfield is 10 rounds, double that of the KAR98K, and that's one thing that is definitely very beneficial about using the Lee Enfield, is that very large magazine size of 10 rounds. So for that, the Lee Enfield gets +1 point and finally gets some score up on the board. The next thing that I had to actually personally test out was reload speed, because across YouTube I found a bunch of different information, reload times varying from 1 second to 4 seconds, but I actually did the test, and it turns out that both of these weapons actually have the exact same reload speed. The amount of time it takes for the reload animation to start to actually get the bullets in the magazine for both weapons is 2.3 seconds. Exactly the same for both, so I can't give out any points for that. However, there is one huge difference between these two weapons that I haven't yet talked about, and that would be idle sway. So the idle sway is something that's very important on sniper rifles, since almost every single kill you're going to get is going to be aiming down sights, unless you're lucky enough to get a no-scope. And if you look here, the KAR98K is on the left, and the Lee Enfield is on the right. It is pretty clear to see that there is much more idle sway on the KAR98K than there is on the Lee Enfield. Both of them have high idle sway, don't get me wrong, but there is definitely more on the KAR98K, and that's definitely a negative for that, so the Lee Enfield gets +1 point for that. The one other thing I would like to point out while we have this up on the screen, as I mentioned, the KAR98K on the left, the Lee Enfield on the right. The two differences between the scopes. First of all, the KAR98K's scope is a little bit smaller. As you can see, the bevel around the outside of the scope takes up less of the screen, therefore you're going to be able to see more of your periphery. Whereas the Lee Enfield, as I mentioned, is a little bit larger, takes up a little bit more of your screen, is a little bit more cumbersome. some. I'm not going to give out any more points for this, but personally, I enjoy the KAR98K's scope just a little bit better than the Lee Enfield. But that's just personal preference, and I'd be really curious to hear what you guys have to say about that down in the comments. And then the last thing we have is probably actually the most important thing we have if you are a quick scoper, and that is the aim down sights time. And once again, I saw a lot of false information about this throughout YouTube and throughout the internet, so I tested it out myself, and I found out that one of these weapons definitely has a faster aim down sights time, and that weapon is the KAR98K. I found that the KAR98K, keep in mind that this is hand tested, so it might be 1 or 2 decimal points off, but I found that the KAR98K aim down sights in 0.2 seconds, whereas the Lee Enfield aim down sights in 0.25 seconds. Now, the one thing that I will say is for sniper rifles, that's an incredibly fast aim down sights time. In Black Ops 3, some of the sniper rifles had as slow aim down sights time as 0.4 seconds, which is double that of the KAR98Ks in World War II. So both of which aim down sights time are very good. However, the KAR's is just a little bit better, and for that, it gets +1 point and takes the lead. So to wrap things up, the main points I will say about these weapons is that the KAR98K has a little bit larger of a 1 bullet kill area. It also has a faster rate of fire, and on top of that, a faster aim down sights time, whereas the Lee Enfield does have a larger magazine and much less idle sway. So all in all, the way to look at this is the Lee Enfield is going to be an easier sniper rifle to use, simply because it has less idle sway and is going to be easier to aim. However, the KAR98K is going to be better for quick scoping, you're going to be able to aim down sights faster, and it's a little bit more reliable. That being said, it's going to take a little bit more skill to master because of that additional idle sway. But all in all, as you can see by the score here, the KAR98 is the winner of this episode of Versus. But guys, if you disagree with me or have something to say about this, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you have any suggestions for future episodes of the Versus series, feel free to let me know down in the comments as well. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, it'd be great if you could hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and like what you see, you can always hit that subscribe button. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.